Hi guys, let's do a quick power yoga practice here today. You will need a block for this. If you don't have a block, you could make do with just a rolled up towel that would be about as thick as a block. So let's get right to it. We're going to start in downward dog. So as always, anytime your hands are placed on your mat, you want your fingers spread wide. You're pressing each knuckle down into the mat. And there's just a little outward rotation here with your arms so that those pointer fingers are facing to the top of your mat rather than your middle finger. Your feet are hip width apart. And we'll go ahead and pedal out the feet. If you want to wag the tail, hops with the heels, whatever feels good here, just sort of moving your body. Stretching into the backs of the legs, stretch into those shoulders. If you'd like to bend the knees, press your chest back towards your thighs, stretch the shoulders a little more, move into it a little bit. Experiment with what feels good. Then we'll come into it more intentionally. So we're really trying to lift the hips up. We're pulling the belly in. We're engaging our quads to release the hamstrings. You're trying to press those heels towards the mat. Maybe they're touching the mat. Maybe they're not quite. That's okay. And also keep in mind, it's totally fine to have a bend in the knees here if you need to. If that allows you to get the hips up higher, weight back into the low body rather than in the shoulders, then go ahead and bend the knees. Take a few deep breaths here. You want to connect with your ujjayi breath. That deep ocean sounding breath here. Nice and slow. We're filling the lungs completely. We're emptying them completely. One more time here. On your inhale, shift forward to high plank. So in high plank, we're pushing the ground away from us. Our shoulders are protracted, our belly's pulled in, our tailbone's tucked under, our quads are engaged. Because keep in mind, your quads are part of your core. Everything's really fired up here. You want to try to stack the heels on top of the toes. Keep breathing. And always modify if you need to. Drop the knees and hold instead. Just this one little thing really starts to break a sweat, huh? Creating heat here, getting ready for our practice. Go ahead and shift back into downward dog. If you like to step your feet just a couple inches closer to your hands as you come into that downward dog, go ahead and do so. Because then we're coming into three-legged dog. We're lifting that right leg up on the inhale, so you want to feel nice and stable here. Stretch. Then on your exhale, you're going to bring that knee to the right elbow, coming through that plank position. And then inhale back out. Exhale, knee to nose, shifting yourself forward. Inhale. Exhale, cross now over to the left elbow. Inhale back out. Exhale, drop that foot to the mat. Pedal your heels. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale to the left elbow. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Push into those hands. Inhale. Exhale, cross. Inhale. Exhale, plant that foot. Pedal the heels. We're going to shift forward to high plank again. Holding here. Now you can modify if you need to and drop the knees. You can hold here if this is enough challenge. If you want a little more, tap your right hand to your left shoulder, keeping your body as still as possible. And then switch, shifting that weight to the other side. Tap and continue. You'll do 3 on each side, trying to keep your torso, your hips as still as possible. Good. Drop your knees, come down into child's pose, 3 deep breaths. On that next exhale, bring yourself back to downward dog. Take an inhale. On your exhale, prepare. So bend the knees, lift those heels, look forward, and then on the inhale, you can walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Come up to standing, look up, stretch up, exhale, draw your belly in and fold round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, lengthen, chest and gaze forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back, lower down with control, elbows in tight to the body. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And then exhale back into downward dog. Take 2 breaths here. And inhale. Prepare on your exhale. And on your inhale, come forward to the top of your mat. Lengthen your spine. Pull your shoulders back. And then exhale, fold round. Inhale back up to standing. Exhale, hands down to your side. And then we'll take an inhale, sink the hips, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Send yourself back and lower yourself down. Inhale up. Exhale back. Turn your left heel in. Inhale your right foot forward up into your warrior one. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Lower down with control. Elbows in tight. Inhale. Exhale. Turning the right heel in, then we'll inhale, left foot forward, reach up, look up, keep the hips low. Exhale, hands plant, step back, lower down. Try to keep the collarbones broad. Inhale up and exhale back. Take 2 breaths here. Now, hopefully your block is handy. You're going to place that at the top of your mat here. And we're going to inhale the right foot forward. Make sure your feet are in opposite lanes of traffic here. So you're stable as you come up. Grab your block, reach up, sink the hips, settle down into it. That left leg is strong. It's engaged. The heel's stacked over the toes. You're lifting your block up and squeezing it. Press into the palms, into the block. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the waist, reaching forward, power lunge. Squeeze that block. Inhale. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, back up. Now, we're going to push off from that back foot. Come up, balancing on the right foot. Bring your block on your left thigh, squeeze it under the left ribs. Bring your arms down and breathe. Squeeze that block. Feel those hip flexors really working here. Flex that left foot. Right leg is engaged. Press into that right big toe. Now you're going to take your block and you're going to put it behind your knee and squeeze between the calf and your thigh. And you're going to bring your hands to heart center and send that leg back. So you're coming into a warrior 3, squeezing that block behind you. Feel that hamstring fire up. Keep the belly engaged. Breathe. Now we're coming forward again. Squeeze that block, squeeze that block. Don't let it drop. Then take it, put it back between the thigh and the ribs. Hold. Take that block. We're going to send the left foot back and into our high lunge once again. Lift your block up high. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze that block, hinge forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale. Exhale, last time, power lunge. Inhale, back up. Exhale, place that block. Step your foot back and lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Feet hip width apart again on your mat. Take that block, inhale it up. Sink the hips nice and low. Feeling solid here in your lunge first, then inhale. Squeeze the block. Exhale, power lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Back leg strong, keep it strong. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back up to that lunge. Push off from that back foot. Balance on your left foot. And then block will go between the thigh and the right ribs. Squeeze that block. Keep your chest lifted, but shoulders down the back. Press into that left big toe. Now take your block. You're going to place it behind the leg. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Try not to drop it. Come into your warrior three. It's tough when you've got slippery yoga pants. You got to squeeze it even tighter. Don't let it drop. Keep your belly tight. It helps with balance. Standing leg stays straight and strong. Squeeze that block. Come forward. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. And then bring it forward onto the top of the leg. Squeeze it between the ribs and the leg. Now take it, step back to your high lunge. Set up nice strong lunge first. Feeling solid, feeling strong. Squeeze that block, inhale. Exhale, hinge. Inhale. Exhale. Last time through. Inhale, back, up. Exhale, place that block aside, step back, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale, back into downward dog. One last breath here. Next, inhale, bring that right foot forward, turn the back foot, open yourself out to warrior two. Settle down into it maybe. Take a few bounces here to settle down into it. Stretch those hips. Reach those arms in opposite directions. Nice strong arms. Glue the fingers together. Those arms are nice and strong. Take an inhale. On your exhale, bring that right knee or right elbow to the right knee. Slice your left arm out in front of you. Bring it to the side of your head. Extended side angle. Stay here or give yourself more of a challenge. Lift that right arm to the side of the head. Keep your hips low. Keep your hips low. Nice long line all the way along the left side of the body. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, lower yourself down with control. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale back to downward dog. Inhale that left foot forward, turning the back foot, warrior two. Heels are in the same line here on your mat in warrior two. Belly's engaged, nice long spine, shoulders away from the ears, reaching in opposite directions. Ready? Exhale, elbow to knee. Right arm slices out in front of you to the side of your head. And then taking that option, if you did on the other side, lift the left arm, keep the hips low. Press into that right foot. Reach. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, hands plant. Step back, lower yourself down. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Feet should be hip width apart here. You're going to grab your big toes with your two peace fingers. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway. And then you're going to exhale, switch your grip, stepping on your palms, toes towards the wrist, then inhale with that grip, and exhale, fold. Hang the head heavy. Whole upper body's hanging over those legs. Inhale, halfway. You're going to heel toe the feet together. So feet are touching. And then slowly, soft bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up, come up to standing. Exhale, arms down to your side. We're going to do a little work in chair here. So you'll inhale, sink the hips, reach the arms up. Now, if you like to work on your shoulders here, you can keep the arms lifted, or you can bring your hands to heart center. The real work is going to be in the low body here. You're going to lift the heels on your inhale. Lift those heels high. Squeeze the legs together. Exhale, release them down. Inhale, up again. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale. As you lift your heels, keep your hips low. Exhale down. We're going to come up one more time and hold here. Now bring those knees out wide. Bring them together. Bring them out wide and together. One more time. Thigh master action here. And exhale, release into the forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, walk yourself out to plank. Setting up in a strong plank here. Hold. Remember, modify if you need to. Drop your knees. You want shoulders protracted, really strong in the shoulders. So push the ground away. Pull your belly in. Let's plant our right hand, and we're going to open up to the left side of our mat in side plank. You can drop that bottom knee if you need to. Whole left side of the body is reaching up high. Lift it up. Push the ground away. And then exhale. Left hand plants. Rolling to the right side of your mat. Inhale. Come into it. Push the ground away. Lift the right hips up. Lift the rib cage up. Lift that right arm up. And then we'll come back to a plank. Come down onto forearms for low plank, forearm plank. So now we're pushing into our elbows and our forearms to stay strong in the shoulders. Belly pulled in tight, tailbone still tucked under. Now we're going to come into dolphin. So you're going to lift the hips and walk those feet in. If you'd like, you can press the palms into the mat here. So push the ground away with those elbows. Pull your belly in. Walk your feet in as close to you as you can. And then we'll take 5 dolphin push-ups. So you might need to bring those feet back away from you just a little bit. You're going to inhale, forward, exhale, push yourself back. And then inhale, exhale. 3 more. Keep that belly tight. After that third one, drop your knees, come into child's pose. Maybe take a big inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. Let it go. Big inhale. Big exhale. One last time. While we're here, let's thread the needle. Big inhale, stretch those arms out long, lengthen the entire spine, and then exhale. Bring your right arm across your chest, under your left arm. That right palm can be up towards the ceiling or down on the ground, forehead on the mat, or maybe right temple on the mat. Experiment with what feels good. But this should feel good. After all that shoulder work we just did, this should feel pretty nice. One more inhale. Reach and stretch. And then on your exhale, bring the right arm back out in front of you. Pause here for an inhale. Lengthen a little more. And then on that exhale, left arm now goes across the chest under the right armpit. Keep the chest and shoulders squared to your mat. And reach those arms away from the body, out nice and long. Big inhale. And then exhale, left arm moves back out in front. And then we will work our way up to a seat. We'll do a little core work here. So first we'll do boat, and we'll do it with a block between our legs. So squeeze that block, find your balance there on your sit bones. You can support yourself behind your legs, lift the feet up, and I want you to lift the chest up. Squeeze that block, and if this is enough of a challenge with that light support from the hands, keep the hands there. Maybe bring the hands out, the arms out long. Maybe you can also straighten the legs, but find where you can hold and squeeze that block. Squeeze it. Good. And just release your feet to the mat. Hug your knees in. Relax your belly. Take a breath. Now we're going to put a little movement into our boat. Still try to squeeze that block. You can lose the block if you want. That's just an option here. You can just have the legs together with no block as well. So come back into your boat. Bring those knees in close. You're going to tap the ankles, and then you're going to come into a low boat with legs extended, arms out, and then come up and tap. Still trying to squeeze that block, holding it tight, and back out. Trying to move with as much control as you can. Use less momentum and more muscles. And we'll do 2 more. Good. Go ahead, set the block aside. Hug your knees in. Relax your belly. Deep breathing. Now, you can use the block for this if you'd like. It's not necessary. You could also do this without a block. You can come into a wide straddle here. Also, it might be helpful to roll up the back of your mat or have a little towel or something rolled up to sit on to get your hips up and tilt that pelvis a little bit more forward if you're feeling a whole lot of rounding when you bring your legs out wide. So you can place the block next to that right leg, and hands or fingertips can be on the ground for support. And you can even face that block and that leg, right side. And you're going to inhale, lift that leg up, and bring it to the other side of the block. Trying to keep chest lifted and spine nice and long. Belly tight. Bring the leg back over. Keeping belly tight. And over again. You're going to do 5 times to each side, working those hip flexors. Don't lean back to lift the leg. You're using muscles to work. Once you've done those 5, you'll move the block to the other side and do 5 total over there. Again, trying to move slowly rather than using momentum. Once you've done 5 on that side, you can set the block aside. Bring your legs together. You want your hands on the mat. Again, fingers spread wide and press each knuckle into the mat. And we want to sort of walk the hips back under us. Your hands are going to plant between your knees and your hips, and you're going to push yourself up. And then when you do, you're going to slide the hips back. So push into the ground and lift, and then slide your hips back. Now from here, you can lift your right leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then left leg, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or you can try lifting them both, even if it's just a couple seconds at a time. Push into your hands, lift your hips a little higher, practice lifting the legs one at a time or both at a time, and then we'll come down and take a break. Hug your knees in again, relax your belly. All right, the hard stuff is over. Everything else is really enjoyable, I promise. So we're going to come down, laying down on our back, reach our arms up really long, toes pointed towards the top of your mat. Keep your belly engaged, though, to keep that low back from overarching. So we don't want to lift the ribs too much. We want to press the ribs down and really just lengthen the spine. Feel those abdominal muscles, hip flexors, everything that was just working really hard in that core work. Now stretching it out. You can even walk everything over to the right side if you'd like, keeping that low back from overarching. And then lengthen as you go back through center. Come back to the left, then stretch. And then back, center. And then take your block. This is my favorite stretch. We're going to stretch our hip flexors with a supported bridge. So bend your knees, your feet are on the mat. You're going to press into those feet to lift the hips up and place that block underneath you. Now, there's 3 levels to a block. This is your highest level here, and then mid-level, and then lowest level. So most people like it at that mid-level for their supported bridge. Come into that, and if that feels too much, then lower it down to that lowest setting. And you're just going to relax and connect back with that ujjayi breath if you've lost that. So breathing at the base of the throat, thinking about your nostrils being there at your collarbones so that you're drawing in air from the base of the throat there. So you have got a bit of a restriction with the throat that creates that ocean sound. One more breath. Feel that heart rate coming down. If you like staying here in this supported bridge, that's fine. You can stay here. If you want that hip flexor stretch, bring your right knee up. You're going to interlace all 10 fingers around that knee and pull it in towards your right shoulder, immediately feeling a big stretch in your left hip flexor. You could even extend the left leg out so it's hovering off of your mat. And you're really reaching it forward as you're extending that leg long. Really reach it forward so you feel more stretch here in the hip. You can come back to having the left foot down on the mat if that's too much. The closer you get your right knee in towards your right shoulder, the more intense that stretch in the left hip flexor is as well. You can flex the left foot, point the left foot, see which one of those feels best and stick with it, or you can point and as you're stretching them. We'll be here about 2 more breaths. Then we'll bring left foot back to the mat if you extended that leg, and then right foot will meet it. Stay here for a breath. And then we'll do the other side. So bring your left knee up, find that same grip, pull that knee to the left shoulder, noticing that stretch immediately in your right hip flexors and quad. Maybe extend the right leg to a hover. Whatever you did on the other side, you want to try to do it here, but notice any difference, especially with the hips. Usually one hip is more open than the other, might have some tightness that you didn't experience on the other side, but always try to mimic what you did on the other side. Just observe the differences. It's normal. We are not symmetrical beings. We'll give it 2 more breaths. Bring the right foot back to the mat. If you extended that leg, left foot will meet it. Take 3 breaths here in your supported bridge. Really try to release tension in the hips and in the low back and just melt into that block. Maybe even lifting your chest a little and sliding your shoulders down the back. Tuck your chin a little more. Stretch that cervical spine. And push into your feet. Lift your hips up. Take the block out from under you. Place it at the top of your head. Hug your knees in. Take one knee in each hand. Hug it in tight. And then draw huge circles with the knees. Let's take some sacrum circles. Loosen up the low back. You're going to go around big circles in one direction and then switch and go around 3 times the other direction. And then release your feet to the mat. Knees still bent and feet are hip width apart. Bring your arms out to a T and just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Let them fall over to one side, come back through center, fall to the other side. And then if it feels good, if you'd like to stay for a few breaths on one side, maybe even bring your gaze in the other direction, you can pause and stay. And then switch over to the other side, look the other direction, pause and stay. Just a light, gentle twist here. And then come back, center, extend the legs long, bring your arms to your side, palms up, fingers gently curled. Settle yourself into Shavasana. So it was a shorter practice, but you still worked all systems of the body. If you were breathing deeply, we worked everything. You connected with your breath. You worked your spine in all directions. You maybe even broke a sweat. So notice how you feel after that work, after that exertion. It's time to completely relax and let go now. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you can. Namaste.